We are right in the middle of this massive AI boom. And at the heart of it all, one piece of hardware has basically become the new digital gold, the GPU. The demand is absolutely insane, fueling this modern day tech gold rush. But it's not as simple as who can build the biggest, baddest chip. There's a really strange paradox at the center of this story, and it reveals the real battle for the future of AI.
So let's get right into it. Here is the central mystery we're going to try and unravel today. Imagine you've got a chip that on paper looks like it should just absolutely crush the competition. I'm talking more memory, more raw power, the works. And yet, when you put it to the test, running actual AI tasks, it falls behind. I mean, how is that even possible?
All right, let's meet the two heavyweights in this fight. In this corner, we've got the challenger, AMD's super impressive MI300X. And in the other corner, the reigning champion, NVIDIA's H100, which has just been dominating the AI data center world. It kind of looks like a classic David versus Goliath story, right? But trust me, it's a whole lot more complicated than that. Okay, so first, let's build the case for the challenger. I mean, on paper, AMD really came to this fight with some serious firepower. They designed a chip that looked like it was genuinely ready to take the crown. I mean, just look at this thing. The MI300X is a serious piece of engineering. The big thing everyone's talking about is its massive 192 gigabytes of high bandwidth memory. Now think about these gigantic AI models we have today. They are hungry for memory. So having way more memory than your rival, that is a huge advantage, at least on paper. So far, so good for AMD, right? Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the hard numbers. This TFLOPS number you see here, it's basically a measure of raw horsepower. How many calculations can a chip do per second? And as you can see, the MI300X clocks in at over 2,600, the H100 just under 2,000. So let's recap. More memory, more theoretical power. AMD should be the clear winner, right? And this is where the story gets really interesting. This is the point where we leave the promising world of the spec sheet and we enter the cold, hard reality of actual performance tests. And wow, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at that huge gap for AMD, the difference between its theoretical power and what it actually delivers. It's only using a fraction of its potential. Now look over at NVIDIA. That gap is tiny. It delivers almost all of the performance it promises. This isn't just a small difference, it's a huge disconnect in efficiency. So what does this efficiency gap actually mean when you're running a real AI model? Well, researchers found the MI300X only hit about 37 to 66% of the H100's performance. So even with better specs, it's way slower in the real world. The big question is, what on earth is going on here? And the answer, it turns out, isn't etched into the chip itself. It's written in millions and millions of lines of code. This performance gap isn't about the hardware at all. It's all about the software ecosystem built around that hardware. And this brings us to NVIDIA's ace in the hole, their secret weapon, the real source of their dominance. And it's something they actually started building almost 2 decades ago. It's called CUDA. And get this, it was launched way back in 2007. I mean, think about that. That's practically ancient in tech years. The idea was revolutionary. It's a software platform that lets developers use all those thousands of tiny cores inside a GPU for things other than just video games. It basically turned a graphics card into a little supercomputer. And NVIDIA has had a 15-year head start building on that idea. This right here is really the heart of the matter. On one side, you have CUDA. It's mature, it's stable, it's the industry standard. It's woven into pretty much every AI tool out there. On the other side, you've got AMD's alternative, ROCm. It's a really fantastic open source effort, but it's playing a decade-long game of catch-up. And it's in that maturity gap where all that performance gets lost. The drivers, the compilers, the libraries, they just aren't as polished yet to squeeze every last drop of power out of the hardware. And look, this isn't just some abstract problem for big data centers. This affects regular people too. Check out this comment from a 3D artist on Reddit. They had a really powerful AMD card, but their friend, who had a similar NVIDIA card, was rendering things 5 times faster. Why? Because the software they use is built for CUDA. That right there, that is what a software moat looks and feels like in the real world. So what's the big lesson here? In this new gold rush for AI dominance, building the fastest piece of silicon you can, well, that's only half the battle. The other half is winning over the developers who are actually going to build the future on top of it. So let's wrap this up. What should you take away from this? First, and most importantly, specs on a datasheet can be really misleading. Second, it's the mature software, all that stuff under the hood that really unlocks a chip's true potential. Third, NVIDIA's Coda, with its 15-plus-year head start, has created this powerful software moat that's just incredibly tough to compete with. And finally, while AMD is making huge progress with its open-source ROCm platform, building that kind of robust ecosystem, well, it just takes a lot of time. So as we look to the future, just remember this. Yeah, the flashy new chips are always going to grab the headlines, but the silent, invisible war being fought in the code for the hearts and minds of developers, that's what's truly going to decide the future of AI. So the question isn't just about who can build the fastest chip. It's about who can build the best platform for everyone else to build on.